Hey, how you doing? I'm Hoopy, your host of Them Brothers from Inglewood podcast, coming to you live and direct once again. It's been a while, but I'm thankful to be back in the studio to share content and some interesting news pertaining to Deion Prime Time Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes that are doing a fantastic job at the start of their season. I know it's been a lot of controversy surrounding Coach Prime and the way he presents himself and how he goes about coaching and all of that. But, I'm just really interested in hearing some of your feedback pertaining to his success or what you perceive as success, and to kind of get your take on his early success at Colorado at this particular time. But before I go into the topic today and some of the interesting things that I'll mention, I want to say thank you to the Coalesce Group for allowing us to partner with you and to take advantage of the resources that you have provided. Thank you for what you're doing in the educational community with our young people, our administrators and educators that are so diligently providing a service for youth of America. Thank you so much for allowing us to share space with you. And also to Fruit Off the Vine Clothing Apparel. Thank you so much for all that you're doing to raise the self-esteem in young girls and young women alike through your brand and your product service. Thank you so much for all that you're doing and allowing us to be a partner along with you. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I want to jump right into it simply because I am a great supporter of athletics, of education, and all of the positive things that come along with the college experience. And so I know that many people have been talking about Coach Prime, which is Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, a collegiate Hall of Famer, a standout in the state of Florida where he was born and raised and furthered his education and athletic career there. Just, he's made tremendous strides in his life as a person, as a professional, and of course, as an athlete. But I don't think he gets enough credit for being the character and being the person that he is. Me personally, I've never met Deion Sanders. We were in college at the same time. I'm not putting myself on the same level as Deion Sanders as an athlete or anything of that nature. But we're the same age. We were in college at the same time. We graduated high school the same year. So I'm very familiar with our graduating class. I know the competition that was out there. As you know, I'm a former athlete. But it's not so much about what I've done. I want to really highlight the person that I really respect and have come to see in Coach Deion Sanders and the strides that he's made. He's had health challenges. He's still overcoming issues in his physical body now, and but his attitude, his principles, what he stands on, the concepts by which he teach his young people should be commended. I know that we all have different personalities, and he does have a strong personality, but I think that's what makes him who he is. That's what makes him unique. That's what makes Coach Prime the success that he is. He's, I think he's widely misinterpreted. He's misunderstood. He's misrepresented. And I think he's great for young people. I think he's great for the sport. I think he understands all of the angles of what professionalism looks like. I believe that he understands the college experience. He understands youth. And it's a blessing to be able to coach your biological sons or anyone who coaches their children, especially at an elite level. He's now coaching at a a top university in the country, a well-respected, level of Division I football, and he's doing great at this point, and I think he'll continue to do great. And so I wanted to come on and just kind of share some of the important aspects of his coaching, of his philosophy, of his commitment to his players. I just really believe that he is sincere. I don't think that he plays favoritism with his children. A lot of media has misquoted him. They've come at him in some very, very distasteful ways. I mean, I won't say that it's been, an obvious slight to Deion Sanders, but in a lot of cases, we've seen the media just charge him. And, me being a communications major, journalism, I've learned a little bit about that community, whereas mass media is a major, major component. It is a technological and informational system that we need, that we rely on, that is prevalent in our everyday life. So it's very, very easy to get things misconstrued, misunderstood, twisted, if you will, for a lack of a better term, when it's about the underlying theme. And what is the underlying thing when it comes to journalism? What is that whole thing about? It's about sales. It's about selling information. It's about ratings, getting people to tune in, to follow, to be engaged with your product. And so the media has a job to do. They know their jobs, and they do their jobs well. Anytime it creates controversy, that is a plus for any communications organization. Why do you say that? Why I say that is because controversy sells. People want the dirty laundry. People want the bad news. They really do. They want to hear the grimy stuff. They want to hear the gutter stuff. They want to hear what we refer to as hood stuff. And Deion alluded to that. He came on the other day, and he gave a shout out to certain ones, and he gave a shout out to the hood. And I respect that, because we have to embrace who we are, our culture, our customs, our creed, our beliefs. We as individuals must show self-pride. And I don't say pride with the intent to be malicious or to be arrogant or bougie. I say that because we should have a self-confidence about ourselves. And Deion Sanders, he represents that. And I just want to commend him for the job that he's doing. It's a job well done. He's not finished. He's just getting started. I really believe that he's going to assist young African American boys, men alike, to come into alignment with self-respect, self-control, character development, and all of these positive things to ensure that they are educated, that they're in a community that they can further their education, obtain their degrees, and move on to the next phase of life, whether it be professional athletics or whether it be working in the community or industry of athletics. Whatever those young people choose to do, I really believe that Deion Sanders has given them an opportunity to explore something greater than football. And so we already know statistically, I'm not going to go into the numbers. We can go into statistics as to how many people actually make it in professional sports, male and female. We can start from swimming all the way to track and field. There are many, many, many participants in athletics throughout this nation and has participated throughout the years. I'm talking about decades upon decades. We can go all the way back to the ancient of days where in the biblical days, they were competing as athletes. You know, we know the story of Apostle Paul and how when he began to write his epistles, he likened a lot of principles to the Olympics, to warriors, or I would say soldiers that were enlisted in armed forces. And he just really chronicled a lot of principles that we see and we experience today. So what I want to propose to you is a question. I might have 2 or 3 questions, but I want to just propose this. If you have a child or had a child and they were involved in extracurricular activities, let's just use sports as one, since we're talking about Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs. Would you prefer your student athlete, your child as a student athlete, to be in a particular environment for his education or for her education and athletics, or would it not matter? Do you prefer your child to play for a certain institution, a certain coach, certain ethnicity? If so, why? Is that important to you? Because my point is this. Coach Prime has 2 sons that are extremely talented athletes. They are already under tremendous scrutiny and pressure because of who their famous father is. We know what type of work, a body of work, Coach Prime has, left behind. We know what type of motivator he is. We know the confidence that he has. And so to have a famous father and play a sport or play football at Colorado, those young men has to be feeling. They have to be feeling a lot of unnecessary pressure. They're young people. I was a teenager. I was in my early 20s at one point. I was a college student, and I know and understand what type of environment this can be. The media is malicious. That's their job. Their job is to ask the tough questions, ask the redundant questions, ask rhetorical questions, ask questions to draw you in, to get a reaction from you. This is all about their profession. This is what they do. And so what I love about Coach Prime in this scenario is he's willing to protect his players, not just his sons. He's willing to protect his players, whether they were at Jackson State University and now at Colorado. He is willing to go to bat for all of his players. He's great with his coaching staff. He seems to allow his coaches to coach and to implement their expertise in areas that they know. And I take my hat off to Coach Prime for having enough confidence in his staff. And he has a multiracial staff. He does have Caucasian men and women a part of his staff. He has, I believe there's Asians on his staff as well. So I just hear this negative energy, this negative connotation as it relates to what type of person Coach Prime is. I just think that he handles this arena with grace. He's always esteeming God. He's always lifting his faith in front of adversity. And I just think that he should be commended. I think that he should be supported, especially by our community. Yes, I'm saying it. I'm not going to take it back. We as brown people, we as African people, we should support each other. We should support what's right, regardless to race, color, creed. We should always support the right thing. And sometimes supporting the right thing, they may not look like us. They may not talk like us. They may not dress like us. But right is right. And so without getting too far off track, I want to say that Shakur and Shiloh, as sons of Coach Prime, should be commended as well. Why? Because everyone takes shots. Because their father is the head coach, they assume that Shakur was given the starting quarterback position. They just feel in their hearts of hearts that, of course, that's your son. You're going to start him regardless or whatever. And I don't believe that he's that type of coach, because I've played against coaches that coach their sons. I've seen coaches who coach their daughters. And a lot of those scenarios did not go the what you call the political way. They didn't start their kid. They didn't favor their kid. Their kid wasn't actually the better player. The kid had to strive. The kid had to become and earn their way. And I believe that this is what Coach Prime did. The quarterback that was there last year and the year before is a good player. He was a good player then. He's a good player now. But at the end of the day, you did not perform to a level that would not merit change. And then from my understanding, they competed. They came in to compete, and I'm not sure, and you can quote me on this, but I'm not sure if that particular quarterback is still there. I don't know if he transferred, put himself in the portal. I'm not sure. But he was a starter before Shakur came and eventually claimed the starting position. I want to quote one thing that Coach Prime said that really has stuck with me. And all of his career, I didn't, because I was playing too, so I didn't see everything about Coach Prime from college into the pros. Of course, I didn't make the NFL, but the sayings and the phrases that he was able to coin and reuse and to sort of give back to this community for motivation. One of them is his mantra right now is, "I told you we were coming." And I love that, because that's indicative of his personality. He was that way as a player. He was that way as a competitor. He's that way as a person. And now seeing it translate, he's that way as a coach. And I love that about him, because this is what we call a player's coach. Players play for coaches. Players they appreciate, they even respect the universities that they represent. But players go to schools based on coaches, the coaching staff. We learned this in elementary school, 6th grade, 7th grade, when we were matriculating into high school. We learned the power of relationship. We learned the power of being relatable, to be transparent. We looked for coaches that we connected with. And it's easy to run through a wall for a coach that you know would run through that same wall for you. And I had a couple of coaches like that in my lifetime, and I did everything within my power, my skill level, my my physical body. I did everything to make sure that I was complying with what their demands were. And I enjoyed doing it. I would do it again because these men that were in my life meant that much to me during the time that my parents entrusted me under their watch, under their care. And so I just believe that Deion Sanders is the same type of individual. And many of you will probably look at this content and you'll say, well, hey, he's not the only African American coach out there. No, he's not. And he's not the only African American coach that cares for his players. And there are some Caucasian coaches that care for their players. I don't know everyone. I'm not trying to say that other ethnicities don't care about their players. I'm just speaking about Coach Prime and he deserving his flowers. We need to give him his flowers because he proved himself as a player. He proved himself as a Division I coach. He's proving himself at this Power 5 conference level and university that he's representing. I mean, they have elite equipment, they have resources, they have all of these things that would highlight and that would really say to America that this is an elite program with elite coaches. And so kudos to Coach Prime for the big win over a ranked opponent in TCU on last week, defeating them 45-42 in Fort Worth, Texas, in a hostile environment, 100-degree plus weather down on the field. It was a scorcher, and the quarterback, his son, played an outstanding game, passed for over 500 yards. As you know, he threw 4 touchdowns, and they just had a stellar game. We can't say anything more about that tremendous athlete that's going both ways for the Colorado Buffs. I know what it's like to play on both sides of the ball, and it is not easy. Most of us, if you remember, we did this from Pop Warner all the way through high school, but doing it at the college and pro level is a totally different monster. I did it briefly 1 year in college. They allowed me to get on both sides of the ball, but it was nothing to be compared to what Coach Prime and some of the others are doing and have done, including Woodson, who played at the University of Michigan. He played on both sides of the ball. He was fabulous as well. And so I just want to give a shout out to this young man that plays defensive back as well as wide receiver for the Colorado Buffs. You know who he is. He was the number 1 player coming out of high school, and rightly so. He deserved it. And so I just look forward to his success as the Colorado Buffs continue to move forward. Congratulations for winning on today against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They came down and you showed them pretty much who was the boss. And so for you guys to win 36-14 over Nebraska, that is a tremendous confidence builder for your program. And so, Coach Prime, we say congratulations for that. You got another good one coming up, September the 16th. You play an in-state rival. I don't know if they're really a rival because you guys have always shared the state. You've always played one another. I think Colorado Buffs is leading in victories over the years, but Colorado State University will be waiting, and I'm sure they're excited about trying to get bragging rights for the state of Colorado. So we look forward to watching and hearing about the success in the coming days. The last thing I want to say is, and I think I pronounced Coach Prime's son name wrong. Shador, right? Shador, not Shakur. I'm thinking of Tupac, not Tupac Shakur, but it's Shador. And so I stand to be corrected on that. But he is a great talent, and he's leading the troops. And we know how difficult playing quarterback can be at any level. And so we want to say, keep going, young man. We know that, the best is yet to come. The last thing I want to say about Coach Prime and about his character and about his commitment to his young people. There's a player on the team, not Travis Hunter. We just highlighted Travis Hunter. He's the two-way player. Will be an All-American this year, no doubt in my mind. But there's another talent. They're loaded with talent. But this came up after the game, and I was just so elated to hear about it. I said, I got to share this. But Jimmy Horn Jr. Was on the phone with his father. His father is incarcerated. His father actually called him after the game. At some point, they were on their way. Coach Prime was on his way to the Learjet, and the young man was surprised that his father had just called. He said, hey, my dad just called. What great timing. And he asked Coach Prime to jump on the phone because his father, wanted to speak to him. His father commended Coach Prime for doing the things that he committed to doing for his son. He said that Coach Prime was a stand-up guy. He was solid, and he did everything that he promised he would do for his son. Emotionally, mentally, physically, he has done everything that he said he would do when he recruited that young man. And so that speaks to the character of Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders didn't know his father, had never spoken to his father. This was his first time talking to the young man's father, and that's what the father said to Coach Prime. And I think if you have that kind of confidence in a coach who you've entrusted your child, your DNA to guide him, to shape him, to nurture him, to chastise him, whatever the corrections have to be, you did that. I think Deion Sanders deserves flowers. I think Deion Sanders deserves to be commended. Is Deion Sanders a perfect man? No. None of us are. We're not perfect men. We're not perfect women. We're not perfect people. We're imperfect people striving for perfection. And so I wanted to make this show interesting, and I wanted to dedicate this show to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, head football coach of the Colorado Buffs. And also, I want us to pray for Coach Prime's health, pray that he has long-standing health, and that he's able to do what he loves doing, and that he's able to continue to motivate and to nurture and to support these young people as he has been doing. And let's pray for his wife. It has to be tough for any woman who's standing alongside of her husband who is effort. I mean, he is just putting forth tremendous effort to do what he's committed to doing, and for her to be there to nurture him, to speak into his life, and to care for him. She needs to be commended as well. So Coach Prime's wife, we give you your flowers as well for standing with your husband and supporting him all the way. The best of success to you both. The best of success to the Colorado Buffaloes on the remainder of the season. We're still watching. God bless you. We're going to sign off, and we're going to say thanks for tuning in and following us once again. This has been my pleasure. This has been a joy to be in the studio. And look, I'm going to ask if you will like, subscribe, share, and also press the notification button so that you'll know every time we go on, every time we're live, you will get a notification. And so if you do that and share this content, we will greatly appreciate it. We have so much more to do. And so we will continue to come to you in this manner so that we will present wonderful, intriguing, informational content so that you can enjoy at your leisure. Take care. We're signing off. This car is coming to a stop, and we look forward to seeing you and talking with you soon. Take care. God bless.